Welcome to 9 Bob Note with Paul Isles-Rush and Ken Moss.
Hello everybody and welcome to 9 Bob Note. There's something different, Ken.
I think it's the calendar. Happy New Year, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah. So what are we talking about this week?
Well, this week, I thought, as it's New Year's Day, or New Year's Gay, as we...
Hashtag.
yeah, as we'll no doubt be promoting it. I thought we could just talk about our wishes and our resolutions for the coming year.
So the title of this episode is...
Our wishes and resolutions.
Yes, New Year's resolutions.
That'll do.
What are you going to go for as your first resolution for 2022?
Well, my first one is a bit of a boring one, and it's the one that everyone makes, and that is to lose a bit of weight, get in shape a bit. We are going on holiday in August to somewhere sunny, which will therefore involve
getting your top off. Yes.
And although there'll be lots of British people there, so I won't be the fattest person. But yeah, it would just be nice, and also just in general, we're not getting any younger, and the sedentary lifestyle does take its toll. So yeah, maybe a little bit of light exercise.
I was going to apologise for picking a very boring first resolution, and it is to lose weight. We've both reached the heady age of 43. We'll both be 44 in rapid succession in the next month or so. And it's starting to creep up. There's no getting... In our heads, we're still... Well, I certainly, and I'm fairly sure you are as well, we're still sort of in our early 20s, late teens. Yeah. You like to think that you're not... still perfectly able to do what you could 20 odd years ago. And the reality is things are starting to creep in and slow us down. The odd aches and pains here, you can't jump over that 6-foot gate and land on the other side without a bit of thought. Yeah, in the past 12 months, the weight has started to creep on, and a few of the shirts in the wardrobe are a little bit snug now. And I'm thinking, well, you could either buy bigger shirts and admit defeat, or just slim back down into the ones you've already got, the perfectly good shirts. Because where do you stop once you start allowing yourself to keep buying bigger and bigger clothes? You end up American.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's my first resolution as well.
Excellent. Just for those people who haven't seen us in real life, neither of us are anywhere near American size yet.
No,
so we've got a long way to go.
No, we're not even Scouse Chav yet. We're a long way to go, but we're certainly on the way.
Yeah, nip it in the bud.
Yes.
Somebody said to me a few weeks ago, they saw a picture of me, and Stuart was on it, so it must have been in the past 11 years. And she said, "Oh, wow, you used to be so good looking when you were thin."
Oh.
And I was like, you've offended me in about 18 different ways in that sentence. But but then when I looked at the photo, it was admittedly a very good photo of me. But but then you do think, she maybe had a point. It was very badly put.
Facially, you haven't changed a right lot in about 20 years. I mean, I got a very lovely compliment, although it's also inadvertently a huge insult from the daughter of a mate of mine. I've known her all her life. She's 28 now. Very, very beautiful girl, Chantel. And I've just started another quiz night, and I posted a lot of stuff on Facebook to promote it. And one of them was me in drag, in quiz drag with the microphone and presenting to the great unwashed. And she'd commented underneath, in fact, a few people had commented underneath that I hadn't aged in about 20 years. But I am 43. And as one very good friend of me, a very, very good friend back in the day said to me, "You've always had a 40-year-old face. You've just sort of grown into it." Cheers. Yeah, Thank you very much indeed. So I finally reached the age where I'm starting to look younger than I actually am, but it has taken 40 years.
Well, you've got there. But the good thing is that you'll now look the same. You'll continue to look the same age. So when we're all 70, you'll still look 43.
The only way I will change that is either a heavy smoking habit, which I don't intend to pick up, or if I grow my hair. Because for those of you that know me, I am the cue ball of the pair of us. I went bald when I was 25, and rather than admit defeat, I shaved it all off. But if I've now got that lovely sort of garden hedge effect around the sides and completely slapped on top, and it just makes me look about 70 if there's even the vaguest whiff of stubble. So I will never be doing that. That's gone round the houses a little bit. Yes. So having tackled aging, what's your second resolution?
My second resolution for this year is kind of linked to the first one, but a little bit broader, is to just get out of the house more and go places. We've all been in the pandemic situation for nearly 2 years now. So holidays have gone out of the window, but even just going to different places and even just going out. And I think we've all become a little bit agoraphobic
during the pandemic.
Yeah. Because it's just so much easier to just stay inside. You don't have to get dressed, and it's just, it's nice. I mean, we have days out where we go, usually it involves a pub crawl.
Of course, yes. It's a life skill you're teaching with children.
Exactly, yes. We're going on holiday somewhere sunny in August. We're going to Wales for a few days.
Voluntarily?
I know you're not a fan of Wales.
I love the countryside. I just don't like the... Yes. The natives are the unfriendliest bunch of bastards I've ever come across in any country ever. Wales, sort yourselves out.
But yeah, we've got a few things planned, and just going out, exploring new places, and just we live in a really, really nice country. With the exception of 90% of the people who live here. But if you go to there's lots of space, so you can stay away from them. And it's just nice to explore, and also to show the kids. I remember when we were kids, we used to go out for walks with our parents, mainly my dad, and we would hate it. Oh God, but then looking back, it was so much fun, and just exploring new places. So that's my resolution, to do a bit more of that.
I completely agree. We've become more sedentary over the past 18 months. Whether you like to admit it or not, my waistline, as we just previously said, my waistline is a testament to that. I have absolutely no excuse for having put on weight. I've always had work that doesn't involve sitting around, and yet I've still put on weight. And that's a lot of that, I think, is getting home. Nobody's going out. You're not making the effort because we've not been able to. So you do fall into that I like being at home mentality. I've always liked being at home. I've always been a home bird, home boy, whatever. But we are lucky enough to live in Lancashire. And pretty much wherever you are in Lancashire, you're about 5 minutes away from countryside.
Yeah.
I live in an old industrial town, an old mill town. 5 minutes in any direction, I'm in the middle of the countryside. We're just surrounded by it. It's all over the place. In England, we are lucky. We're only a heartbeat from the lakes. There's just places to go all over, and that's just in Lancashire. And then further afield, you stick a pin in the map, you're an hour's drive from a different destination every day.
Yes.
At the most. So yeah, I fully agree with you. I probably need to do more of the same. My second resolution is to declutter.
Oh.
Yeah. I've always been a bit of a hoarder, and it's not really been a conscious decision. But you do, we're sort of the last generation that could come in useful. Yeah. Which we've inherited from our parents and their parents. There's really no real need to do that anymore because things are so cheap, so easily accessible. If you do lose a cable, or there is a spare bit of wire or a nail, that screw could come in handy. Why are you cluttering up drawers with all this crap? Why is that half tin of paint from 2006 still in the shed? There's no need. Why are those clothes that should have been in the bin a long time ago, but might come in useful if you're doing something mucky, still in the drawer that you haven't worn since 2006 and don't fit in anymore. So particularly my office, it's full of old media, like old VHS and old DVDs and old cassettes that I need to convert to a digital format and get rid of. It's just clutter. I'm never, ever going to play them again. But they do need, because I'm an archivist. So, I mean, you know my feelings on stuff being wiped and erased and things. And I turn up the stuff all the time. In fact, I found something which you never heard this on transmission. You can hear it now. This is from Rock FM in 1995.
And hi to Paul Isles from Lostock Hall. Birthday tomorrow, 17. Happy birthday for them, Paul. From your mate Ken Moss. So for Barbara and Nicola and Paul and Andrew and Ralph and another Paul who are all celebrating birthdays either today or tomorrow, this.
Happy birthday, it's time to blow out the candle. Another birthday is here. Here's hoping that you have a very good year.
Paul did not hear that clip. That will be dropped in during the edit. But that was something I did for him during my college years. I got transmitted and he never heard it because he wasn't awake. So yes, those are the sort of gems that turn up when you get rid of stuff. And that's why I need to go through, get rid and declutter my office, because I've reached the age where I hate clutter. I've just sold off a couple of book collections. I got £2,500 for them. They were just sat on, because I never read books twice. They were just sat there collecting dust and making one room smell a bit more like a library every day. It's just stuff at the end of the day. We cling too much to stuff sometimes.
A very good one. Very good one. I would say I'm going to do the same, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah, but your house is beautifully tidy. There's not a lot of crap in your house, really.
It's all in the loft.
Oh, the loft. About 8-9 years ago, I did a loft conversion. And by that point, I'd lived in my house, a good 9 years. I cleared out the whole loft of stuff and either gave it away, sold it, or binned it. I kept nothing out of the loft. An entire room full of clutter just gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I was never going to look at it again, but I'd stuffed up there just in case. It's just stuff.
Yes. Ours is exactly the same. And even when we moved house the last time, we had stuff in the loft in the old house that we then transferred to the loft in the new house with the intention that we would go through it at some point, and we still haven't. But yeah, one day.
It's very cathartic. I'll say this, which is very cathartic when you do, because you just think the house feels lighter and there's less stuff untidying the place. And you think, why did I never do this before? So clothes will be my next one. There's drawers and wardrobes full of stuff I'll never wear again. It does need to go. So yeah, that's a declutter. That's my next one.
Excellent. My third and final New Year's resolution is to go to the theatre.
Oh, excellent.
I've always liked going to the theatre, and we do go from time to time. And usually, being gays, obviously, the majority of the time we go to watch musicals. So this Christmas, for example, we went on a big family trip to see Hairspray the musical in Blackpool.
Oh, I can't say as I've ever seen it, although I think I know some of the songs from it.
Yeah,
or I would recognise them. Yeah,
yeah, and it was obviously billed as a big family day out, although it was really just us two that wanted to see it. But we. Again, it's not really happened for a couple of years, because of the pandemic, everything closed down. And so I would like to see, we used to live in Manchester where you have the Royal Exchange Theatre, which put on some fantastic things. And now we live in Preston where there is not much by way of theatre, although they put a few things
Is
on.
Charter and Guildhall, are they still there?
The building is there. The theatre is no more. Just completely closed down, which is a bit of a shame.
Oh, some of my best memories were the pantomimes and things.
Yeah, it is. It's sad, and so we will have to travel outside of Preston. But it's just nice. It just makes a change from watching the TV and or going to the cinema. Yeah, I just like the whole event of going to the theatre, but especially when there's something good on, it's nice. So yeah, I'd like to do more of that, please.
Well, I do have a love of the theatre. I have trod the boards in my time, and it's just a different world. It's behind the proscenium arch. It's very much, oh, love it, darling. You do, even in amateur theatre, you do get that, and it does sort of wind you up because you're just there to. I went along for the love of wanting to perform good classic plays, and indeed a couple of new ones, and Rent.
Yes.
We will come back to this. Everyone's got AIDS, and it's a bit of a laugh, actually. But no, there's a couple of things that I've always wanted to see. Wicked. I've still never seen Wicked. I know they're making a film of it, but I want to see the musical. I think the live performance is going to be. It's just there. Yeah. It's right in front of you. I want to see The War of the Worlds, the immersive and I want to see Avenue Q, which I've seen fragments of on YouTube, but that is one of those things. I don't want to spoil it by watching the rest of it on YouTube. I want to see the thing. So next time we get the opportunity, I think we should have a 9-bob note, big gay night out.
Absolutely.
To the theatre. Well, my third and final choice is to work less. My entire life has been a blur of work and activity and filling every single moment with something. I've not regretted it, but it has cost me. And it's time to recognise the fact that you don't need to fill every single second with work and productivity and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's only within, I would say, about the past month that I've realised there's more to life.
Yes.
It's very easily done. A few people have said over my life I'm a workaholic. I've always denied it. It's possibly true. But I've always loved whatever I do. And it's not only been work, but a hobby 9 times out of 10, or I've got really invested in what I've been working on. So it's not felt like work. It's certainly kept boredom at bay. I mean, certainly the audio side of things. The line between work and so the podcasting isn't work. That is pleasure. But the scripts I get sent, they're pleasurable as well. So where do you cross the line between work and pleasure, despite you getting paid for one and not for it? It's just I don't like sitting idle, and I need to spend more time sitting idle because it is beneficial.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a very good one. Again, it's something that I would agree with and say I'd like to concur. But depending on who you ask, some people would say that there's no possibility of me working less than I already do. So, but yeah, a very good one. You do sometimes, it's always when you actually do stop and look back and you think, wow. This is the first time that I've sat down with a cup of tea, or this is the first time I've just not had to do something for more than 20 minutes in a week. And so definitely something. We don't want to be burnt out.
No, and I've been in serious danger of doing that recently, and it's come on the back of a very dear friend. He had a bereavement, and it put the anchors on his side of things necessarily, but not necessarily mine. But I took the opportunity to just take time out because there were other things that I needed to spend time on, and then you realise just how much time you spend on certain things, and how little you spend on others, and then other things creep in, and I realised, actually, why am I killing myself for work, which I'm also doing, taking more... Why don't I just start saying, no, I'm not doing that? Whenever anybody comes to me asking me if I'll do a job or a favour, or I never say no, and it's just now about time I start saying no a little bit more often.
Yes.
Not in a fuck off sort of way, just I really don't have time for that right
Yeah.
now. Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying no.
Now and then. It's going to be a slow learning curve, but bear with me.
Yes. Well, there we go. We've had 3 New Year's resolutions, and I think we can agree that if we stick to them, which of course we
will, definitely, with no shadow of a doubt whatsoever. Amen.
Then we're going to have a really good 2022.
A trim and rested,
Exactly.
decluttered and theatre-filled 2022.
This time next year, we will be completely different people. I'm wearing the clothes that we've kept that we had from when we were 20. God knows what kind of clothes they were, but who knows? We'll definitely dig something out. We'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your hungover day. For those of you not too old to go out on New Year's Eve. And we'll be back next week with yet more fun.
Yet more podcasty goodness. Happy New Year, boys and girls. We'll be back soon.
9 Bob Note featured Paul Isles Rush and Ken Moss. Title music was by Mark Shyman, and the program was produced by Maverick Productions. For more information, please visit maverickproductionsuk.blogspot.com or find us on social media.